record numbers of migrant crossings and apprehensions. The State Department is set to discuss border security challenges. Now, right at this hour, thousands of migrants and asylum seekers are moving slowly across southern Mexico. They're headed toward the U.S. border. This is video for the group today. They set off on their journey on Christmas Eve. Migrants, many from Honduras and other parts of Latin America and the Caribbean, walking in groups under the watch of the Mexican National Guard. Local authorities there have estimated that the average number of people walking per day is around 8,000.
Hello YouTube family, thank you for joining me today. And on this day we will be going over an article from the New York Post about the migrant caravan that's marching towards the US border of El Paso, Texas. Now in recent years the United States has faced a growing crisis, which is the migrant caravan. Thousands of migrants, mainly from Central America, are making their way towards the US border in search of a better life. Their journey is perilous and filled with danger and uncertainty. Once they reach the US border though, they present a significant challenge to an already overwhelmed immigration system. This crisis has sparked heated debates across the nation on how to handle the influx of migrants. Advocates argue for compassion, citing the need to provide refuge to those fleeing violence and poverty. However, others believe that the crisis demands stricter border security to protect American citizens. Now with that, I will pose this question. Where do you stand on the issue? To provide compassion and refuge for migrants, or stricter security to protect American citizens? You can post your response in the comments section. The repercussions are felt not only by migrants themselves, but also by U.S. enforcement agencies as they struggle to manage this influx. Political polarization has further complicated the resolution of the crisis, leaving it unresolved and in need of urgent attention. Above all, it is innocent children caught up in the crisis who suffer the most. Humanitarian organizations are working tirelessly to mitigate the humanitarian fallout. Ultimately, the migrant caravan presents a significant crisis to the United States, testing its resolve and providing a solution that balances national security and humanitarian values. So let's get into this article by the New York Post. The U.S. Border Patrol, which already is dealing with an unprecedented number of crossings, will be strained by the caravan. As they traveled toward El Paso, Texas, members of an 8,000-person migrant caravan were observed clinging to the sides of a train that was speeding toward the U.S. southern border. A few dozen migrants could be seen clinging to the side of the train dubbed the Beast as it passed through Tijuana, Mexico, in footage that was uploaded online on Thursday. The group is reportedly headed to Juarez, Mexico, which is just across the border from El Paso. There, Customs and Border Patrol officials would handle their asylum claims and grant them entry into the United States. It appears that the group wants to get to Texas before a new state law that would enable state police to detain, arrest, charge, and potentially even deport anyone caught breaking the law goes into effect. So they're on a time crunch. That's the reason why so many of the migrants want to get into the country right now before that law goes into effect. They're trying to beat that law and get grandfathered in before that law takes effect. The Biden administration has already filed legal challenges against the law, which is scheduled to take effect in March. About 8,000 people marched to the Texas border in an attempt to apply for asylum. The law was declared unconstitutional and contrary to the U.S. commitment of ensuring the processing of non-citizens consistent with the Immigration and Nationality Act, in a letter from a Justice Department official to Texas Governor Greg Abbott on Thursday. The Justice Department threatened legal action if the state began enforcing the law. However, the caravan headed to the U.S. poses a threat to add to an already heavy workload of the Border Patrol, which is dealing with an unprecedented volume of border crossings. It's believed that the group is traveling to Juarez, Mexico, which is directly across the border from El Paso, where their asylum claims would be processed by Customs and Border Patrol agents. There were 242,418 encounters last month, according to the latest figures released by the U.S. Customs Border Protection, CBP, on Friday. December is also on track to reach an all-time high with as many as 10,000 migrants apprehended each day at the southwest border. The total number of migrant encounters in December has already surpassed 200,000. It's believed that the caravan is traveling to the border of El Paso to have their asylum claims processed. The border processing carried by the crowd reads "Exodus from Poverty." The caravan making its way to the U.S. threatens to further strain the already overburdened Border Patrol. Earlier this month, U.S. Customs and Border Protection stopped railway operations in international crossings into Texas in an attempt to slow the flow of migrants. In a statement at the time, the agency stated, CBP is continuing to surge all available resources to safely process migrants in response to increased levels of migrant encounters at the southwest border, fueled by smugglers peddling disinformation to prey on vulnerable adults. CBP is implementing additional measures to surge personnel and address this concerning development, including in collaboration with Mexican authorities in response to the observation of a recent resurgence of smuggling operations transporting migrants through Mexico via freight trains. There has been a resurgence in smuggling. Mexican President Andrés Manuel López Obrador declared on Thursday that an agreement between Mexican and U.S. authorities to maintain open border crossings has been reached. At a press conference in the morning, he declared, "This agreement has been reached. The purpose of opening the border bridges and rail crossings is to normalize the situation." Awaiting their chance to enter the United States, over 11,000 additional asylum seekers are gathered in camps and shelters in the Mexican side of the southern border. According to CNN, there are about 3,800 asylum seekers in Tijuana, Mexico, who are from Cuba, Haiti, Venezuela, and Mexico. In the Mexican town of Escuelenta, migrants stopped for a rest by the side of the road before continuing on foot in a caravan to try to reach the U.S. border. Around 11,000 additional asylum seekers are gathered in camps and shelters on the Mexican side of the southern border, waiting for their chance to enter the United States. In Reynosa, which is across the border from McAllen, Texas, another group of approximately 3,723 migrants are awaiting their turn. In Matamoros, Mexico, a group of 4,000 asylum seekers are likewise in wait, dispersed throughout camps, shelters, and abandoned houses. According to Gladys Cañas, who runs a nonprofit that assists asylum seekers in Matamoros, the migrants who will still be in Mexico are hoping to enter the country legally by taking advantage of a federal parole program that was introduced by the Biden administration earlier this year. There are about 3,800 asylum seekers in Tijuana, Mexico, who are from Haiti, Cuba, Venezuela, and Mexico. So, that's the article. Again, what do you think about this? Would you call this a crisis for the U.S. and its citizens? Or is this an altruistic, philanthropic, humanitarian gesture from the U.S. that ought to be commended? Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Thank you for joining me on this article recital. Please like and subscribe. Look forward for another video coming soon, and stay safe out there, people.